Welcome to the Gil Reads Comics Halloween Spooktacular. Tonight is a very special episode. And part of that is because normally you're all used to seeing me with my brother Adam, and he's not around right now. You don't see him. So I know you're all a little bit worried about that. We'll get to that in a moment. First, earlier today, I slaughtered a goat. I used his blood to create a pentagram, and I performed a blood ritual so I could raise from the underworld some demons, minions. Let's introduce them. Got my little brother, Daniel.
Hey, it's great to be here. I'm glad you raised me.
We got my big brother, who you've heard him before, actually, if you listen to our Punisher episode. Why don't you say hello, Alon?
Hey, it's me, Alon. You may know me from the Punisher episode of Gil Reads Comics.
That's right. We have, like I said, a very special episode. You might not know this, but Thomas Edison, before he died, he was working on an advanced technology, a telephone that would allow you to contact the dead. Now, that's very important because Adam, he's no longer with us. He's gone on to a better place. And we're going to use Thomas Edison's technology to call him up, the spirit phone, and speak to the ghost of Adam. Adam, are you there?
Ooh. Gil killed me just so he could use this new invention. I'm just glad it worked.
And I'm assuming you're up in heaven because I don't think they have costume parties in hell. You've got your Big Lebowski outfit on, your White Russian.
The dude bites.
So like I said, very special episode lined up for tonight. We've got a few segments. And the proper way to listen is you got to turn the lights down. And get yourself a bowl of candy and maybe light a candle, one of those like fall Halloween scented candles. Get in the mood. And to kick things off, we are going to be reading some horror comics, some old school, spooky, scary comics from the 50s. We're going to jump right into that. We've got some games lined up, but let's get into the mood by getting into one of these ghost stories. So we've got Amazing Ghost Stories, issue 15, released in December 1954, back when our greatest generation was running around reading comic books.
Nice.
That was all they had to do.
That's what made them so great.
So one of the things the first thing you notice when you flip this comic open is they've got those old school ads. Like this one, it's got a little picture of a kid dressed up as a magician, and it says, "Complete baffling magic outfit, 20 first-class illusions for only $1. It's a great value. That's like 5 cents an illusion.
It's not a very good illustration. Kind of surprised.
Right, because you think they want to set the tone that there's going to be some good drawings in this comic, and they start with this very disproportionate child.
The audience member, you can only see like the profiles of the audience members, but they look better drawn than the main kid in this picture here.
Well, they're working on a budget here. If they're selling each illusion for a nickel, you've got to think they didn't have a whole lot to pay the artist for this.
How many fingers does the kid have?
He has
No,
5.
it's 5.
There's one pointing in a random direction.
His right hand looks like a brontosaurus.
Yeah. Looks kind of like an animal cracker.
It was a magic trick gone wrong.
Let's not make fun of the disfigured child.
It's not a real child.
Wait, sorry, the disfingered child.
Ooh.
It still has all 5.
Well, before we dive into some ghost stories, this does remind me of 3rd grade, where my teacher wanted every student to say what they wanted to be when they grew up. And I said, I want to be a podcast host for a podcast about comic books. No, not really. I said I want to be a magician. And she laughed at me. Getting into the comic. So this is going to be a little different from a typical Gil Reads Comics where we summarize the issue. In this one, we're going to read the whole thing, end to end. We're each going to perform a role. Alun's going to be playing the strapping young gentleman.
Sounds about right.
Daniel will be the hapless damsel in distress.
Sounds about right.
We both had that one locked and loaded.
I'll be the narrator, of course. And Adam will be, I don't want to spoil who Adam will be because he's going to be playing a sort of mysterious character.
Well, now we know.
That's true.
Anyway.
We'll cut that part out. So to set the stage, the opening panel here is a car driving with that man and woman we mentioned earlier in a horrible rainstorm, an absurd amount of rain. And it says, on a desolate highway, not far from New Orleans, a car moves cautiously forward against the elements. Then we see the title of this comic, Payment in Full.
We'll never make it in this storm.
All right, I'm going to cut you off right there.
Thank you.
You're overdoing it a little bit.
Yeah.
Think about when you listen to the Harry Potter audiobook.
Yeah.
And when they do the female voices, they go,
Harry.
Exactly.
Harry. Oh, that helps. Harry. We'll never make it. I don't know why I started going a little British.
Take it down a notch.
We'll never make it in this storm. We should have waited till morning.
Why don't you relax? I'll take care of things. What should I do differently?
It sounds like you got some kind of speech impediment.
Well,
Whoa.
We can edit that out.
think of like a Dick Van Dyke. Now, see here.
All right, can I try it again?
Let's move on to the
going.
next panel. Yeah, we'll give it another try there. Moments later, the motor splutters noisily and goes dead.
You'll take care of things, eh? By the time we get to New Orleans, the Mardi Gras will be over.
No, it won't. We're going to make ourselves a bundle of dough. Like I said, leave it to me, baby.
Yeah, that was better.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Thanks. It'll gradually come to me.
So he gets out of the car, steps into this. I mean, it looks like a flood.
You wait here, Doris. I'll go up the road and see if I can find a house.
And leave me alone? Nothing doing. We'll both go.
That's good to see. In the 50s, you expect her to be more like, oh, I'll wait here.
Yeah.
You go take care of things. But comic books have always been more progressive. They've always been ahead of the curve. Let's go to the next page. 10 minutes later. See, it's important that we know it's precisely 10 minutes later.
I'm soaked.
There's a house right up ahead.
I don't like the looks of it, Chris. It's so dark.
What do you expect at midnight? Come on, we'll go up and take a look.
Didn't have
Suddenly.
electricity back then.
What was that?
Oh, they
That's why
didn't,
it's
have,
so-
they didn't have electricity back. Yes, they did in 1954.
When was Thomas Edison alive?
They
It was like the 1800s.
yeah,
They,
and
they already had the phone that could communicate with the dead. Of course they were.
That's fair.
suddenly a blinding flash of lightning illuminates the scene, and they're walking towards the house. It's this big, like, mansion-looking house, and it, for some reason, has a green hue to it.
Chris, let's go back to the car.
What for? We can dry off here. Come on.
I don't mind walking back in the rain, Chris. Honest. Only let's not go in. I'm scared.
I've been in the gambling racket too long to let an old house bluff me. The minute I get this board loose, I'll prove it.
I
So
love,
he's a gambler, and so he's willing to just go into the house.
right. So that's what there's. This is some character development here. He's a gambler, so you know he could face down some pretty mean foes, and he's using a metaphor. I'm not going to let this house bluff me. It's like the house is trying to make you think it's evil, but everything's going to be fine in there, probably.
I'm sure that's why they made a whole comic about it, because everything will be just fine.
Yeah, it ends on the next page.
Oh, that's me. Say, look, a real old-fashioned fireplace. In just about 5 minutes, we're gonna be as comfy as two bugs in a rug.
Now, one thing I want to establish before we move on here. When they got to the house, they didn't ring the doorbell. They didn't knock on the door. They saw pieces of wood blocking off the doorway, and this guy, Chris, just ripped them off, and they're breaking and entering here.
Mm-hmm.
Classic B&E.
I have 2 points to make.
Go ahead.
Number one, it's funny to think of people in the 50s referring to something as being good old-fashioned. Because we think of stuff from the 50s as being good old-fashioned. And then the other point is, how do we know the wood isn't keeping something in?
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, that's a good point.
Wait, so you think somebody boarded them? You think somebody else boarded up to the house to keep something from getting out?
Dead inside.
Yeah, look, it's boarded up from the outside.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
And then we cut to they didn't waste any time. He's wearing a pink robe. She's got a nightgown on and what looks like an Academy Award, if I'm not mistaken, next to them.
Yeah.
And he says to her,
See, you're feeling better already. By the minute the storm blows over, we'll head for town and the big dough. And one good poker game and we'll be in the chips. I don't know what big dough means.
no, big
we'll
dough.
head for town and the big dough.
Right, there's a lot of money in town.
Oh, okay.
They're going to go gamble, and he's going to be...
I got
See,
you.
we're learning the terminology from
Yeah.
back then. And I think we should all try and use it in our everyday lives. When I'm at work, I'm going to say, hey, let's get to work so we can be in the chips.
People are just gonna think you want a bowl of Lay's.
What's the girl's name again?
I don't think the girl has a name.
All right, Daniela, you're up.
It was
Okay.
Doris, I think.
Oh,
Doris.
Doris.
Yeah, classic 50s woman name. Okay, Chris. Okay, Chris. I'm sorry I was jumpy.
No. It's more like, okay, Chris, I'm sorry. I was a little jumpy.
Oh, you think she's mad? All right. Okay, Chris. I'm sorry I was jumpy.
Uh,
Oh, I don't feel comfortable with the next
This is
scene.
gonna be good.
That's okay, baby. A little kiss and
Mm.
not
Wait, why are you...
Oh no, sorry. It's
Those
not.
are those
I
are
couldn't
E's.
see. Your thing was in the way. It's not. It's e.
All right, let's pause for a second, just so I can make sure people follow what happened there. Daniel, or Doris, she was getting a little defensive. Like, I'm sorry. And the guy, Chris, he says, don't worry. I'm going to give you a little kiss, all right? And then she screams.
Yeah.
This hits a little close to home for me.
Yeah, you hate to see that.
What I meant
What do
was
you
that...
think happened? Do you think he's disfigured or like something about him changed, or does
Well-
she see something over his shoulder?
I would guess over his shoulder. You can see her eyes are facing beyond my character.
Yeah.
And I turned the page and I saw that she spotted something over his shoulder.
I think you would have known. You're pretty good at catching on to these things.
Yeah. All right, Doris, take it away.
Hey, it's coming from the wall. What is it?
Stop chattering and get over here. Behind me. Fast.
Well, you sounded a little scared there, but...
Yeah, the stutter threw me off.
Why are you scared?
Well, he is scared, but he's trying to project confidence for his girl.
Stop chattering and get over here. Behind me. Fast.
Yeah, now I feel like he's confident. Look, it's taking shape. It sees us.
Slowly, the glowing light takes on shape and form, then glides forward into the room, and in hollow tones addresses the cringing pair.
Your weapon is useless, but do not be frightened.
So an old man just materialized out of the wall and floated forward. But he says, don't be scared. It's going to be all right.
Good.
I knew he was there, by the way.
Did you read ahead?
I knew my character.
I seek your aid, for only those of flesh and blood can do what I ask. If you fulfill my request, both of you will be well rewarded.
You mean you're a real spook? A ghost?
Gee, he caught himself there.
I
That S
What's
word,
that?
that S word that I'm not
Oh.
even going to repeat, that's a little derogatory for a ghost. So I think that Chris said it and he was like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. I meant to say a ghost.
Yeah, I'm surprised, Alen, you were willing to use the S word on camera right now.
I am the spirit of Albert Landers. 25 years ago, Richard was
Oh man.
in this very room. My murderer still lives, unpunished for his crime.
But what can I do?
See, this is what I think. When the old man says, only those of flesh and blood can do what I ask, he's a ghost. He's non-corporeal. That means he can't interact with the physical world. It's the age-old problem that a ghost faces. How do they stand on the ground? They would fall right through it.
That's what I was gonna ask.
I think if you zoom in, you see, you can't see his feet. I think if we could see his feet, you would notice he's not standing on the ground. He's floating. So I think that he needs the two of you to do something for him that involves interacting with the physical world. Probably punishing this guy, Richard Wilson. It's up to you. Are you guys up for the mission?
Yeah.
Well, before we flip the page, what would you do if this was you? And you know, if you were in Chris and Doris's shoes, how would you respond to this old man Albert Landers?
He seems genuine.
Yeah, he's non-corporeal, though. What can he do for me?
So we don't know what he wants from us yet, though.
Right.
And I just asked what we can do for him.
So you want to hear what he has to say?
Yeah, I mean, I would hear him out. If he asked me to actually like perform some crime on his behalf, I'd probably do some more investigation on my own.
All right, let's hear him out.
Look,
Yeah.
quid pro quo. Listen, you use the Spider-Man approach. Basically say, I'll do what you need me to do if you let me take pictures of you and sell them to the newspaper.
If you want to understand that reference, listen to the episode where we cover Amazing Spider-Man issue 3.
First, remove this brick from the fireplace. Hurry! The minutes pass and I must soon depart.
Where's he going?
Hey, what does he mean, remove this brick?
It's probably a secret compartment or something in the fireplace.
What voice do you think Chris thinks in?
Probably a woman's voice.
I would do it kind of like this, like, man, this is the craziest thing that's ever happened to me. Like you're whispering to yourself.
Should I do a little bit of the voice?
Do the same voice as before, but more whispery. So this is Chris. He's thinking to himself.
This is the craziest thing that ever happened. But maybe there's an angle in this for me.
Yeah, I like that.
This guy's a little narcissistic. He doesn't say this is the craziest thing that's ever happened to me. He says this is the craziest thing that's ever happened. Ever.
It probably is.
Well, okay, fine. But then in the face of that, he doesn't think like, oh my God, this is insane. He thinks, how can I get one over on this ghost here? I think there's an angle here I can play. To Chris's...
You cast the character well, Gil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Alon's like, I can see a lot of myself in this character.
No, that was Frank Castle.
To Chris's surprise, the brick comes away easily. Reaching in, his searching hand finds objects. Carefully, he takes them out and...
It's a diamond necklace. It must be worth 50 grand.
Wow.
I assume that's
Oh, this is the
And
ghost.
it's yours if you do as I ask. After Wilson murdered me, he robbed me of my secret industrial formula. Since then, he has claimed it as his own. The envelope you now hold contains the original papers proving the formula was mine.
I hate
So this
when
is
this
just
happens.
an episode of SpongeBob.
Wait, hold on. Hold SpongeBob.
He stole the formula.
Yeah, Wilson is Plankton.
Oh. And so he would be Krusty Krab or Mr. Krabs.
Yeah.
Mr. Krabs, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say I hate when this happens, when people steal your secret industrial formula.
Mm-hmm.
I work in finance. I do a lot of work with Excel. And when someone copies and pastes my if statement, like, bro, I spent all day on that nested if statement. You're just going to take it for your own? All right, so this ghost, he handed over the secret formula to... can we just name the characters? I keep getting confused. So I'm just going to call Chris. I'm going to call him Alun.
Mm-hmm.
And Doris is going to be Daniel.
Daniela.
So that's your female name?
Yeah.
So the old man ghost, Adam, he gave Alun the secret formula. And then Alun says...
What do you want me to do?
Take the envelope to the police in New Orleans. They will not believe you have spoken to the spirit of Albert Landers, but the envelope here contains the proof. They will see that justice is done.
Don't worry. I'll take care of things. Of everything.
Now, a couple things I want to point out here. First off, the way that the ghost phrases things here, he doesn't say that the police will never believe that you spoke to a ghost. They'll never believe that you spoke to the spirit of Albert Landers. Like if it was another ghost, maybe they'd buy it. And
no
then
way, Albert Landers. No way.
And when Alun says, "Don't worry, I'll take care of everything," he's got the biggest S-eating grin on his face.
Yeah.
The fact that this ghost trusts him makes me it's no surprise that somebody was able to steal the formula from him to begin with.
He totally deserves it.
Seconds later, when the spectral image vanishes,
You're not going through with this, Chris. I'm afraid.
Shut up and listen.
whoa!
This is our best break so far. This thing can pay off plenty. We're going back to the car. It stopped raining. Maybe the motor's dried out. I'll tell you while we're driving.
What could be in a letter that would prove the existence of a spirit?
Wait,
It's just the original formula. It's proving that he's the one who created it.
Oh, it contains
It's an original.
The
Yeah.
Never mind. It contains the proof that the formula was stolen.
I mean, he can prove that he's a ghost that exists just by showing himself to people.
but they probably
I feel
have
like he
to
probably
come to
can't
that.
leave the house.
Yeah, I don't think he can leave the house.
Come on.
Maybe he
Standard
can
rule.
now that they've ripped those boards off the front.
Oh.
Maybe he'll follow them.
Well, so okay, I asked the question earlier. What would you do in this situation? I'm assuming that you would. That your first thought when you see this ghost would be, "How can I trick this ghost into making me money?" All right. Well, let's go to the car. Let's find out what Alun's secret plan is here. In New Orleans, an hour later. It seems like as the narrator, my main job is to just make sure you're aware of the time increments that are passing. In New Orleans, an hour later, the Mardi Gras is in full swing. And the scene here is like a parade. There's a guy dressed up as a devil, looks as happy as can be. All
He
kinds
looks
of
like
people.
you. Look.
Looks like me, yeah. That's, by the way, that's the storyline here. I'm the devil. And Daniel, you can see he's got like a little pitchfork. He's my little brother. And
I'm his little devil.
I don't know what's going on with Alun. He's got these big inflatable horns on his head. All right, take it away, Danielle.
I didn't get the costume instructions in advance.
Daniela. Where to now?
First, we will call on this Wilson character. According to these papers, he was the spook's business partner.
Again with that S word.
It also keeps throwing me off when he says Wilson, because I've been reading so much Spider-Man lately, and I'm watching Daredevil, so I keep thinking they're talking about Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin.
I think that every time, too.
Can we just say that it's Wilson Fisk?
Yeah.
All right. Which makes sense, because he's the nefarious one who stole the paper.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Wilson Fisk. This is a crossover, unexpected crossover with Spider-Man here.
Maybe that's Daredevil right there.
The devil right there, that's Daredevil. All right, now back to my narrator duties. I have to let you know how much time's passing. 20 minutes later, in a fashionable part of town.
This is it, baby. Get moving and remember, don't try to run out on me.
Don't worry, honey.
Wait, so is he worried that she's going to leave him? Like go cheat on him? Is that what run out on me means?
I think so.
Okay. Now I have some important narration here. Then.
Should I be
I think
the,
Adam should do
this
bumper.
other old man again?
Yeah.
Well, I want to play a character. I haven't gotten to be
Okay.
any. So let me do
All
this
right,
one.
all right. Well, wait, but there seems to be a more substantial one coming. I could be the butler, and then you could be this green guy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
You see, he looks like a kingpin.
Oh, maybe he's
Not
Wilson.
the kingpin, a kingpin.
All right, so as the narrator, when I said the word then, what that tells you is that the following panel takes place after the previous panel.
Oh, I thought it was a flashback.
So a butler walks in and walks into a room where Alun is standing with a cigarette. And the butler says,
It's impossible, sir. Mr. Wilson is not to be disturbed.
Oh my god. He'll see me. Tell him Albert Landers is calling on a matter of life or death.
a short while later. All right, so there's a new character here. Is this Wilson? Yeah, this is
Yeah.
Wilson Fisk. This is Kingpin.
He's the formula thief.
Who the blazes are you? What are you trying to pull?
Relax, Wilson. I'm here to do you a favor and make you a little proposition. I'll come right to the point.
What is he sitting on Wilson's desk right now? Or like on top of his
That's what it
sofa?
looks like, yeah.
Well,
He's
not a
sitting there, he's
scumbag.
smoking a cigarette. He's taking a real power move right now.
He looks like he's posing as a supermodel on his desk.
Yeah.
Just totally disrespecting him.
I'll come right to the point. I've got enough information, Wilson, enough to send you to the chair for the murder of Albert Landers, and it's all in black and white.
Then you know. You found out. Well, hold on a minute, by the way. If I were Wilson, I would.
Yeah, no. He
Just an
admits it.
immediate confession.
Yeah.
He should have just taped that.
Right. You gotta deny. You didn't even say anything. All you said is, "I've got proof that you murdered someone." You found out. You've got the proof. How did you know?
If he denied for a second, he'd find out that the proof is some like spirit in the house that gave him a letter.
Wait. So what's your proof? You gotta give the proof over. Well, I don't have anything. I just
Well, now I do.
yeah. I saw a ghost and he told me. All right then. Hand over the papers fast. And I pulled out my gun on him, pointed my
Man.
gun at him.
Man, my character's he's pretty cocky for a guy having a gun held against to him. I'm not that stupid. In the first place, I haven't got them with me. Don't squeeze the trigger. If I'm not back in a half hour, my partner will turn the evidence over to the cops.
If it were me here, I'd put one right between your eyes right away. You win.
End of
Wow.
comic.
Man, I got.
You chose a
It
terrible
literally took
character.
3 panels.
Yeah, exactly. I went from
There's
like
decades of deceit and deception, decades of it, and it's all undone in 3 seconds.
how much do you want?
25,000, and that's pretty cheap to save you from the hot seat. Suppose you get into some clothes and we'll start moving.
Right, because I'm wearing a robe right now, so he wants me to get dressed. And I do want to point out, this seems to have happened a few times, but you see that they keep running out of room in the word bubbles, and I kind of have to squeeze it in.
Yeah. Also, is he wearing a dress shirt with a bow tie under
There's
a
a bow
robe?
tie.
That's true. And a monocle.
He's not wearing a monocle.
No, he's wearing glasses,
Oh, okay.
but they don't
okay.
have the stems.
It's like Morpheus.
All right, well, so I'm gonna go get dressed, and when they arrive at the restaurant where Doris is waiting,
Here he is, baby. It took a little coaxing.
coaxing.
It's 50-50 shot
Coaxial.
there. Here he is, baby. It took a little coaxing, but he's seen the light.
It really didn't take a little coaxing. He kind of just asked, and I went. Never mind that. Let's see those papers. Oh, we got a new character here. This is a guy dressed up as a horse. Come on, fella, join in the fun. And then a clown comes over and goes, Yahoo! Wee! Jumping all over him.
Not now, sport. Be a nice guy. Beat it.
I wish people still talk that way. When's the last time you told someone to beat it?
I don't think I've ever said that.
Yeah.
Hey, waiter. How about a private booth for my party?
Adam, why don't you take the waiter?
Okay, hold on. At once, sir. Follow me.
All right, and back to my narrator duties. A short while later.
Maybe now we'll have some privacy.
Let's see that envelope. I've got the cash.
Hand it over, Danielle. It's say, what's eating you?
Behind you, Chris. We've been followed.
So this is a thing that happens to them a lot, it seems, where Alon will look at Daniela, and she'll get this big, like, surprised expression. He's like, "What's going on?" She's seeing a ghost over his shoulder again.
He doesn't get freaked out by like any strange-looking people. He just acts normal with them. This is a private party, fella. Clear out before I toss you out. I'll give you 3 set.
It's Landers. He's come back. The ghost is
And
back.
it's the old guy from earlier.
Yeah,
And he's got this like red glow behind him, and he looks like he's wearing like the V for Vendetta costume minus the mask.
yeah, he's got a big floppy hat on and a big robe that covers up his whole body.
He looks a lot more messed up than he did before.
So he left the house.
Probably because he onboarded it.
I have come back, Wilson, to accuse you, who took my life, and these other 2 who deceived me.
Wait, Landers. We were friends once.
and still you killed me. Murdered me, killed me.
Wait! Ah! And then there's a fire. I'm getting lit on fire. Spontaneous combustion.
I'm getting out of here.
Don't leave me, Chris. Wait.
Leaving his gal behind.
You gave me your word, but your greed was as great as the man who murdered me. You shall die with him.
I love this phrase.
Nothing doing. I'm getting the door. It's jammed. Let me out of here. Let me out.
As the smoke fills the room, Alun's bellowing voice sinks to a sobbing whimper. Let's hear that whimper, Alun. Last night, Adam and I were hanging out on the couch, and Alun fell asleep on the couch, and he made that exact noise.
Yeah, that's true.
Then all becomes silent, except for the fierce crackling of the flames. 20 minutes later. And then you see a random woman talking to a police officer. Are those three
Are
people?
those 3 people dead, officer?
She does look like one of the women that would have like that fan, like fanning herself.
Yeah.
And then the cop says, "That's right. But what beats me is that they could have walked out of there, the same as you people did. The doors on those booths didn't have any locks on them."
Ooh.
Oh,
That's like the first supernatural thing that's happened.
that's the end.
The end.
That's the that's the end.
It's the end. It says in the
Wow.
bottom right corner, a little thing says the end.
So it seemed, this is what we learned here. That ghost, he could not interact with the physical world except for locks. He could lock doors. And he could light
Well, and
fires.
you can wear clothes.
Yeah, but he could wear the robe. He was able to start a spontaneous fire, and he was able to lock that door. It seems to me that if you wanted revenge on Wilson, he didn't need those 2 people at all.
Well, maybe for some reason he can't remove wooden boards.
So this whole time it was just,
It was just like one piece of wood.
Well,
That
that's
was in his
not
eye.
that's not the way he necessarily wanted to get revenge. He just, when he saw Chris or Alun and Daniela betray his trust, he was like, "Screw it, I'm killing them all."
Well, he actually wanted justice, right? Like he wanted the guy to bring it to the police department, and he's a ghost.
Yeah.
He can't walk into the police department.
Oh.
That's probably it. Like he's like the good guy. He wanted like a legitimate closure.
there's
to this.
more nuance to this
Yeah.
story than I realized. It wasn't a simple revenge tale.
Mhm.
The only reason he burned everyone alive at the end is because the betrayal, that pissed him off.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Screw it, I'm killing everybody."
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right, he can't go to police headquarters and hand them the envelope that was located in that brick. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I thought there was gonna be a lot more.
Yeah, I really. I mean, I saw 38. I thought there were gonna be a bunch more pages and like there's gonna be a little more development.
anthology.
Wait, is there a part 2?
well, no, this is an anthology with a bunch of different stories, and we'll go to more of these stories, but I did want to get to, and I mentioned we've got some games tonight, some other activities, so I think this is a good place for us to take a break and maybe play some spooky Halloween games.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. Guys, I'm the devil. Satan. What does the devil like to do? Daniel?
Plays games.
Makes deals.
Hmm.
How would you all like to make a deal with the devil?
I'm down.
A game of wit and intelligence. Trivia game. If you win, I will give you corporeal form and allow you to walk the earth once again. You can be human. And you're always saying you want to be human, Daniel. Right? But if you lose, you're going to evaporate and just into nothingness. Damn, you're always saying you want to do that, right?
It would work out perfectly.
I have here 7 questions that are related to Halloween, horror, and comics. And you have to get those questions right. There's no buzzer, nothing too fancy like that. Just each of you give me your answer. And if you get it right, you get a point. Whoever gets the most points gets to be human, and the rest of you vanish into mist. Ready for the first question?
Go.
This combines my 3 favorite things: Halloween, Batman, and
I
comics.
knew it.
Who is the primary villain in the classic Batman story by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale called Batman: The Long Halloween? Who is the primary villain? And this is multiple choice. A, the Joker. B, Calendar Man. C, Scarecrow. Or D, Holiday.
Scarecrow.
All right, Daniel?
I feel like it's a trick question, but I think I remember reading this. I think it's Joker.
Adam?
I wanted to say Scarecrow, but it feels too easy. The way you said Holiday sounded so innocuous, but I've never heard of it.
All right.
But I'm going to pick Holiday.
See, Adam has an advantage here.
That's definitely wrong.
He's spent 20-plus hours podcasting with me. He knows how to get in my head. He's right, Holiday.
Oh!
Now, Batman: The Long Halloween was a very cool story. The first issue was released on Halloween in 1996. And then every month they released an issue centered around the biggest holiday of that month until it concluded a year later on Halloween. In the story, there was a character who went by the name Holiday, this mysterious serial killer that always killed people on a holiday. Who was Holiday, though? I don't want to spoil it. You've got to read it to find out. And this story was also well known because it is considered the quintessential telling of Two-Face's origin, Harvey Dent. Let's put 1 point on the scoreboard.
Is his real origin in the comics similar to in the movie?
Similar. In the movie, his face gets burned, right? In the comics, somebody throws acid on his face. What is widely considered to be the first horror comic series of all time? A, Return of the Mummy. B, Tales of the Dark. C, New Adventures of Frankenstein. D, Astonishing Tales of Terror. E, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Let's go with Adam first this time.
Can you tell me the choices again?
You know what? It's too many choices. Right? 5 is too many for you to keep in your head at once.
Too many.
I'm going to chop off E, Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
That's
that
what I was
wasn't
going to say.
Oh, man.
All right. You got Return of the Mummy, Tales of the Dark, New Adventures of Frankenstein, or Astonishing Tales of Terror.
B.
Mummy, Dark, Frankenstein, or Terror.
Yeah, I like B, Tales of the Dark.
Alon, you're going with that too?
Yeah.
All right. Tales of the Dark, Tales of the Dark. Daniel?
D. Which
Stein.
one is D
Can I
again?
say one thing?
He still wants to go with E, Sleepy Hollow.
You know what? Can I double down on E?
I'll say one thing. I think there's a chance the answer is A, Return of the Mummy, just because Return sounds like it's got to be a sequel. And so it would throw us off.
Well, you could apply the same logic to New Adventures of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Well, you all locked in your answers already.
D.
No, I locked in.
You have all taken one step towards oblivion. Nobody got it right. It was the New Adventures of Frankenstein,
Oh, man.
which debuted in Prize Comics issue 7, December 1940. And in this issue, the monster was called Frankenstein. And people love to point out it was the scientist named Frankenstein. The monster never had a name. But in the comic book world, they said, screw it. Let's call him Frankenstein. Make it easy. He lived in New York City, and his main enemy was Denny Bulldog Dunson. A few years later, he found himself in the European theater of World War II fighting Nazis. And then when he came back from the war, he settled into small-town life where he had delightful adventures with Wolfman and Dracula. So it started out as kind of a horror series and then sort of took a comedic turn. So after he got back from the war, here's an example. He's sawing a coffin in half at a funeral, and the priest says, "And so before we..." Oh, darn it. Oh, here we go. "And so before we deliver H. Pocus, the magician, unto his final resting place, his friends will fulfill his last wish." And to be sawed in half. That's the magician's... Think about it. That's the trick of a magician, and he can do it for real because he's dead now.
Some people dream of turning into mist, and others dream of getting sawn in half.
Number 3. Which of these horror films is based on a comic series? A. Friday the 13th. B. Hellraiser. C. Nightmare on Elm Street. D. Army of Darkness.
B.
That's Daniel says B. Hellraiser. Alon?
It's either A or D.
Why can't it be B?
Well, I don't want to say the same answer as you, even if you get it right.
All right, let's put
So you can see there's zero knowledge at play at the moment. It's purely a game theory.
I mean,
a game of
Army of
instincts.
Darkness feels more like something that could have started in comics. I'm just gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that.
Army of Darkness. Adam, it's down to you.
All right, I know it's not Army of Darkness.
That's knowledge at play.
Hmm.
Army, you know what Army of Darkness is?
Which letter was Army of Darkness?
Ash.
That was D. Yeah, it's
And
Ash, Evil Dead.
Ash.
Okay, I only remember the letters.
Yes, our beloved character Ash.
I said Ash.
It sounded like Ash.
I knew it was Ash.
It sounded like you said Ash.
He already said that.
Wait, did
And
everyone give it?
there's Hellraiser. What were the other choices?
Adam said E.
Remaining.
There is no E.
Sleepy
right.
Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow. Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Let's. All right, Adam. Your choices were Friday the 13th, Hellraiser, Nightmare on Elm Street, or Army of Darkness.
I feel like it's Hellraiser. In part just because of how you said, just the tone of voice you used when you introduced it.
Hellraiser is what I picked, right?
Yeah.
B?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Oh, it's not it.
It's A.
The devil is a trickster. None of them were right.
Bullshit.
Oh, come on.
You all fell for the trick.
Wait, so it was E.
No, there was no. You had to know that none of them were right. I mean, you guys, who shakes hands with the devil? That's on you. But don't worry, you got
This is
4
what
more
we get.
questions.
I think
Are the-
Adam should lose a point.
Yeah, Adam should lose a point.
All right, so Adam is 0. You both have -1.
Oh, crap.
All right, which of these is not the name of a blood-sucking vampire? A.
Wait, repeat the question.
Which
of
of
a
these-
blood-sucking vampire?
Which of these is not the name of a blood-sucking?
What's the universe of vampires?
That's very
though? Like Buffy the
particular
Vampire
wording for a
Slayer.
These are
First
vampires that have been in comic books.
And they suck
Right.
blood.
Some of them.
I'm not going to repeat the
No,
question
it's
again.
only blood-sucking vampires.
I shouldn't have said anything. I could have had an advantage.
A. Morbius. B. Morlun. C. Mannheim. Or D. Dragonetti.
I hate you. Do either of you know what any
go
of
with
these
A.
names are?
Really?
I don't know.
Okay. One's going with A. What do you, Daniel?
Wait, have either of you actually heard of any of these things?
I've heard of
before?
one of them.
I have a question. Are these names of like species
No, these are-
of like vampires? Or
these
these
are-
like characters?
No, these are character names. Like Daniel could be on this list. Or like Dracula could be on this list.
Okay. Dragonetti was one of the options.
Yeah, Dragonetti.
I'm gonna go with which one's not a vampire.
Which
A
one of these is
bloodsucker.
not a vampire?
A
Not a
blood-sucking-
blood-sucking
Blood-sucking
vampire.
I'm gonna go with Dragonetti.
Okay, Adam.
Dracula.
You got it,
Can
Dragonetti.
you repeat them?
All right,
Okay.
Morbius, Morlun, Mannheim, or Dragonetti.
I'm going with Morbius.
All right, that's what Alun picked, which shocked me. Because Morbius is a very popular vampire in the Spider-Man series. In fact, Jared Leto will be soon playing him in another Sony-produced Spider-Man spin-off movie. So he is a blood-sucking vampire.
Well, I knew he was a
Wait.
vampire.
He sucks blood.
Okay, we know he
I was
sucks
just
blood.
guessing that
Yeah.
he doesn't. I don't remember.
So
ever
you're all-
So I'd never heard of it.
Right now, all 3 of you, there's like mist floating off you because you're starting to
It's
disintegrate.
like, you know,
Mine
Back
wasn't
to the
right?
Future when his
You were all
arm is
wrong.
starting to disappear.
Exactly. Yeah, you're losing limbs right now. But they'll grow back if you win.
Hmm.
They just won't be as strong as they were before. The answer was Morlun.
That's close.
If any of you listened to last night's episode of Gil Reads Comics, you would have known that. Because Moreland is a vampire, but not a blood-sucking vampire. He sucks out totemic energy.
So
Obviously.
you took it upon yourself to make a trick question out of something we would never have known anyway.
Actually, no, like I said, if you listened
lunch
to the episode, you would have known it.
Didn't you release the episode at like 3 a.m. last night?
Yes.
Some of us work jobs.
All right, I've got 3 more questions. These ones I think you've got a shot at.
A one or any of us?
He looked at me.
Yeah. Do I have a shot at any of these questions?
Actually, I was glancing down. I have a little video window where I can see myself. I was looking at me. All right, you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Which of the following scary characters has Archie not crossed paths with?
Alun actually watched that show.
No, this isn't a TV show. This
No.
is a comic book.
Okay.
You know Archie, right?
Yeah.
Redheaded, America's
Stepchild.
sweetheart.
Well, there was like the TV show based on it that Alun watched.
Riverdale.
Riverdale.
Ellen never watched
one
it.
episode.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you watched the whole thing.
I can't.
All right, ready? Predator. Sharknado. Jason Voorhees. Or Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Which of those spooky characters did he not cross paths with? Adam.
Some of them I know for sure he has.
Which ones?
The first two options were Daniel. I'm not gonna tell you.
Well, he's about to tell us.
Do you want to turn this into a working together thing?
No.
Well, how about this? I'll make you a deal. If you just sign off right now that one of you, permanent damnation, the other two can work together.
Nose goes.
Alen just doesn't know what's going on.
You can't trust the deal with the devil.
Yeah, see, he's
Yeah,
smart.
you're right, you're
I'm
right.
gonna give you
Why
5
we
points.
further-
I'm not making another deal. We've already made one deal.
Yeah, you guys are way in over your head right now. You guys feeling the heat?
Okay. So
I mean, the
it's Jason
Sharknado thing
Voorhees.
sounds just weird. But why would you add it there? Unless you're trying to throw us off.
Wait, Adam, what were you saying there?
Jason Voorhees, Sharknado,
Predator,
Oh, I know.
Predator,
Sabrina the
Or-
Teenage Witch.
Sabrina.
Yeah. Alan's gears are
Those
turning.
first three are all unbelievable.
Yeah.
Are they?
Ugh.
Are they unbelievable?
I'm gonna go with Sharknado.
You
Even
know
though I
what?
feel like it's so out there that it's probably one of them, but I'm going with Sharknado.
All right. Daniel, you gotta lock you down here. You gotta pick one.
I'm trying to see if I can see the answers in Gil's eyes reflecting off the
The
phone.
answer is not written here. I just remember the
Ah.
answer.
Okay, the options. So Sharknado,
Predator,
Predator, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and
Jason.
Jason.
I'm
Hey, it's my
gonna-
turn.
I'm leaning toward
We're not,
Predator. now.
we're not really taking turns here. All right, go ahead.
Predator.
All right, it's down to Alan.
What an idiot.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
it's too
But how
late.
did they
You've
even get
already
the
locked it
rights
in.
to like Predator?
They made it. They shook hands with the devil.
It's locked in. I'm gonna listen. You went Sharknado. I mean, I'm not gonna say that because it's like, why would you? I can't get in the head of the devil. You know what? I'm gonna say Sabrina.
If you had listened to the
Good.
unreleased
Yeah,
episode
yeah.
of Gil Reads Comics, you would have known that he did cross paths with Sabrina.
Yeah.
This whole episode, this is just
The-
Gil shaming all of us.
Did you say the unreleased?
Yeah.
How would I listen to that?
He never met Jason.
Ugh.
He did meet Sharknado. And he recently met Predator, which was a shockingly violent issue. I heard it was great. I never read it, though. The devil doesn't have time to read comics. I'm too busy torturing people, like I'm doing right now. All right, this
This
one,
is all happening.
you guys are going to get this one right.
I do feel like I'm in hell.
Good. Hey, you know what? This question has 2 answers. And if you get one of them, you don't get any points. No, if you get one, I'll give you a point. So you have a chance here for 2 points. The Joker, in many comics, his real name has been revealed. But every time it's revealed, it's different. They haven't really picked one and stuck with it. All right, so I'm going to list out some names of the Joker. 2 of them have never been given as his real name. The rest of them have been given as his real name, either in a comic or a movie. All right? A. Jack Napier. B. Melvin Reapin. C. Jerome Valeska. D. Jokey McJokeface.
Wait, what was the question? It was which has been
Which have
or
not
which
been.
hasn't been.
Jokey McJoke.
Two of these names have never been given as the Joker's real name. Jokey McJokeface,
That's like Bodie McBoatface.
or E. Arthur
Yeah.
Fleck.
Wait, what? Are you asking us between those two?
No,
No, he gave us 5 of them. We have to
Yeah,
pick
but
the
why
two
did
that
you just
didn't.
say 2 just now?
because I stopped and then I finished the last two.
Okay.
Bodie McBoatface.
Jack, Melvin, Jerome, Jokey, or Arthur.
Wait, sorry, there are 3 now?
No, I just named 5.
Can you write
Bodie
them?
McBoatface. Bodie McBoatface.
His name is Jokey McJokeface.
No, Bodie.
Damn, I'm going to subtract a point. All right, we need to lock down some answers here.
I'm gonna go with the. Can you run through them again real quick, and I'll just tell you which ones as you go through.
Jack Napier, yay or nay?
Nay, that's not my answer.
Melvin Reapin.
Yay, that's one of my answers.
Jerome Valeska.
Yeah, yay, and then nay to the rest.
Okay. So you picked. So you're saying that Jokey McJokeface was one of the names.
That's one of the names.
All right, and you said Melvin and Jerome.
Yeah.
All right, Adam.
Okay.
All right. I think Jokey McJokeface is one of the fake ones. And can you please tell me the other ones again?
Jack Napier, Melvin Reapin, Jerome
That one.
Valeska. Melvin?
B. I think Melvin is also.
You're going
fake.
Melvin and Jokey. All right,
All
Alon.
right. I'm saying jokey. And can you read me the 2 before that one?
Melvin Reapin and Jerome Valeska.
What was the one before Melvin?
Jack Napier.
I'll go with the second to last one, right before jokey.
So you're going Jerome
Yeah.
and Jokey.
Yeah.
You just got 2 points, my friend.
Ooh, I said Jerome though, right?
You got 1 point.
I got 1. All right.
and
I got
Adam, you
1
got
point.
1
Oh,
point.
but you subtracted 1 from me.
Nah, you're good.
Adam, we're tied.
Adam and Alon are
So
tied.
you can make a deal with the devil.
What are we tied for? Like
Alon,
-2?
you almost fell into a trap there because you were looking at this and you were thinking Jerome Valeska. Gil, I watched the show Gotham, and there's a character, Jerome Valeska, who is, it's very heavily implied that he becomes a Joker. Well, if you kept watching one, you would have seen that he died, and he sent poison gas to his brother. And then that gas infected him, and he became the Joker. Oh, wait, no, he didn't. No one's the Joker on that show yet.
I've never watched. I've never watched Gotham.
All right, it's come to this.
But I knew Jack was one of them. Jack
Yeah.
Napier.
Oh,
I
yeah,
knew
let's-
for a fact.
Jack Napier was the name of the Joker in the 1989 Batman film, played by Jack Nicholson.
Hmm.
Melvin Napier, Reapin, by the way, Reapin is Napier backwards. Melvin was his name in Batman Legends of the Dark Knight, a comic from the early 90s. I made up Jokey McJokeface.
It sounded so real.
Oh, and this is a good one. Arthur Fleck is the name of the Joker played by Joaquin Phoenix in the new Joker film. And some people think this is an inside joke because who played Batman? Ben Affleck. Arthur Fleck, A. Fleck.
It's clever.
Hmm.
It's anybody's game right now. Adam's got 2 points. Daniel's got 1. Alon's got 2 points. If Daniel wins this one, it's a 3-way tie, and you all die.
Oh, amazing.
All right. This one requires some background, so you got to pay attention. We're going to crack open the history books. We're going back to 1954, the height of comic hysteria. Dr. Frederick Wortham published a diatribe against comics, which wiled up an uproar among parents, teachers, and others to call for censorship of comics. He released a book that made several claims. He said that horror, crime, and other comics were a direct cause of juvenile delinquency. He claimed that the comic book industry strong-armed vendors into accepting their publications and forced artists and writers to produce content against their will. He claimed that comics stimulated sexually deviant behavior. In fact, in an interview that he published in his book, one young comic reader confessed that he wanted to be a sex maniac.
It's not that he was a sex maniac.
He also said that comics promoted homosexuality by pointing at the Batman-Robin relationship. He called it a homosexual wish dream of two men living together. And he observed, this one's hard to deny, that Robin is often pictured standing with his legs spread and his genital region evident.
That's true.
The old evident genital region.
What year was this?
This is most alarming. This is 1954. And people read this book and they were not happy. They agreed with him. And this was probably the most alarming. Wortham contended that comic books turn children into deceitful little beings. Looking at you, Daniel. They read funny animal comics in front of their parents, but the moment they leave the room, they start reading horror comics. What was the name of that book that he wrote? A. Comics and Juvenile Delinquency. B. Corruption of the Youth. C. Feeble Minds and Fornication. Or D. Seduction of the Innocent.
I got a guess.
All right.
I think it's D, Seduction of the Innocent.
Can you read them again?
A. Comics and Juvenile Delinquency. B. Corruption of the Youth. C. Feeble Minds and Fornication. Or D. Seduction of the Innocent.
I'm going to go with C.
Feeble Minds and Fornication.
Yeah.
One might call that the Jokey McJoke
I think
face
that's
of
the
this
name of
question.
Lun's podcast.
Yeah. On this episode of Feeble Minds and Fornication, FMF for short. All right, so Adam, you're the last one to go.
Yeah, I think it's Comics and Juvenile Delinquency.
All right, so the devil, he respects people that break the rules. Daniel looked at my phone earlier before we started the game.
No.
The game was rigged from the start.
I mean, I didn't know that was the answer. You don't
You
have
knew
the
it,
answers
you-
flag. No, but so I saw Gil's phone and I just read out Seduction of the Innocent, and Gil freaked out so much. I figured that must be the answer. It can't just be one of the options.
Well, I don't know what to do here. It's a tie game.
Hey, I cheated. That's got to give me extra points. With the devil, that's like what the devil wants.
Stop smacking your hand on the table.
No, it's my like thing, you know? People
All
will
right.
know it's me on the podcast.
We have a tie game here. We have to do a tiebreaker.
Did you think of one?
No. I'm trying to think of one right
Nose
now
goes.
off the top of my head. When I was a kid, what was... Okay, here we go. When I was younger, a child, I was home without my parents, our parents, because we're all brothers. And our oldest brother, who's not here right now, he's taking care of his children, he caught me doing something in the closet. And he threatened to tell our parents. What was I doing?
How old were you?
I was, let's say, late middle school.
Oh my god.
What
It's
time
multiple
was it?
choice.
Is it multiple choice?
Well, then I have to think of four things.
All right.
So
Let me say
but
this.
the
I
alternative
think
is we have to think of one infinite possibility.
All right. Wait, were you going to say something?
You can
was gonna say-
reward whichever one's closest.
whichever one's closest.
Sleeping.
All right, sleeping.
Sleeping in the closet.
Daniel.
And then you came out of the closet later. I think you were like reading something you weren't supposed to be reading.
Okay.
Like what?
Let's not go down that road. It doesn't matter.
Just anything that you weren't supposed to be reading, yeah.
Yeah, it was something that Wortham, the doctor, would not be
Yeah.
happy with.
Something that was seducing the innocent.
Adam, what do you think?
Can I ask a clarifying question?
No.
never
we
said-
already
Well,
locked in our...
if you
Can
do,
we
we're
change our
allowed to
answers
change.
if...
What
Yeah.
closet was it?
It was the closet in my bedroom.
Your your last bedroom.
Yeah.
Oh, up in the attic.
Mm-hmm.
It's a small closet.
I mean,
He caught he caught you doing something.
is this
what was his
Halloween
reaction?
related?
Why were you doing it in the closet? I mean, you have your own bedroom.
Obviously, I didn't want anybody to know about it.
But you have the bedroom and you got a lock on the bedroom door.
You guys, see, this is the problem. You're all jumping to an answer. I think, Alon, you can read people, and you didn't use that skill. You could have thought this through. But now it's Adam's turn, so.
And I'm taking my time.
Eating?
What was his?
He's eating candy.
What was his? Wait. Tell me
It
what
was
his reaction
Halloween
was.
related.
What, Adam?
What was his reaction again?
He said, I'm telling your parents.
Oh my god.
Mm. You know, I do think it involves eating. Hey, you're eating something forbidden. You're eating Halloween candy.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, the problem is you already locked in your answer.
Oh, come on.
Wait, no, I want to put in Halloween candy.
But he
too.
asked clarifying
yeah, he asked,
questions.
That's not fair. You were eating Halloween candy.
The devil likes those who inquire.
You're just making up things the devil likes.
I was eating apple pie.
Most people are doing something different with apple pie when they don't want to find out.
You're eating apple pie in the closet.
Like, I am the devil, but even you're taking this into territory that even I'm uncomfortable with.
You're sitting in the dark. Like, was it were the lights on in the closet, or was it in the dark so nobody would know you were there? And you're just in the dark
Wait,
eating
like-
apple pie.
Wouldn't someone question where the apple pie went?
I didn't think the whole thing through. I panicked, all right?
Did you warm up the apple pie?
I'll tell you what happened. I don't remember all the details,
Yeah, you do.
but I wanted to eat apple pie. And I knew I wasn't supposed to do that because I was overweight as a child. So Oren walked in the room. I
God.
panicked, so I ran to the closet. But he heard the closet open, and he's like, why did I just hear the closet open?
Oh my god.
And then he found the half-eaten apple pie in the closet.
This is true.
This is true.
At this point, if you were late middle school, you're like 15. So this is 25-year-old Oren is saying, I'm going to...
Oren's not 10 years older than
Oh,
me.
he's 10 years older than me.
Well, if he's 10 years older than you, that doesn't mean he's 10 years older than
All right.
all of us?
The devil feels judged. You have all disappeared into mist. We're taking a break. I've reached into the ether, and I pulled Alun's soul back into existence after that trivia debacle. And we have a new face. Vince, why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, I don't really know what I am today, but
He's wearing a Moroccan hat.
and I brought my knife.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable that Alun's holding a pitchfork, and I know I pissed him off earlier, and Vince has a butcher knife, and they're both staring at me. And I don't have my pitchfork anymore. It's back there.
So what do you think about my hat?
I think it's awesome. It looks like an upside-down cup.
Alon?
I like it. I'm just worried. Do you need your headphones? Can you fit them over the hat?
Let's see how this goes.
All right, so he's putting the headphone. For those of you that are
Nah.
just listening,
You know what? I think it's just gonna be too distracting.
we're losing the hat.
I'll leave it right here though, so you guys can remember me.
Well, don't put it on the wire, though.
I won't put it on the wire.
All right, hat has been placed on the table, and now we've got headphones. So that blood ritual I performed earlier to raise you demons to join me on this show today, it's wearing off. You guys are disappearing.
Oh, no.
But I convinced, for you listeners, I made a deal to extend their stay on the ethereal plane just for another little bit so we can tell one more ghastly, bone-chilling story. Because you were getting in the Halloween spirit, but you weren't quite there yet. This will get you there. Vince, I want you to be the narrator.
Ah.
I'm going to be the actor. There's a character that's an actor in this one. And Adam's going to be an aunt. We're going to call her Aunt May. I don't think she is Aunt May. And this is from the same book we were talking about earlier. It's an anthology, so this is the next story. Vince, let's start the narration.
Okay, so point to where I should read.
The first line on the page.
Previous, first.
He's reading the navigation buttons.
Oh. All right, I got this. Movie actor Derek Lane.
That's me. I'm Derek Lane.
Derek Lane thought he could get away with anything, even murder.
It's true.
But he found that there was no escape from the stalking doom.
Yes.
All right, now describe the scene.
So, there's a cat on this old lady's lap and a man in a suit pointing down to a book on the table in front of her. And there's a moose in the background.
Well, it's a moose head on the wall.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different than a moose.
So that's Derek. That's me. Honest,
Is it just me, or does that lampshade look like a rib cage, like a sternum?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a little bit. I think that's coincidental.
This
to be honest.
aunt,
Yeah, I
there
think
might
so.
be. I think there's more to Aunt May than meets the eye.
Oh, it's Aunt May.
She's killing people and using their flesh to create furniture.
Those are bones.
Honest, Aunt Clara. Johnson fired me and threw me off the set. He hates me because I was stealing the picture.
You were drunk. He warned you that he wouldn't put up with that anymore, Derek, and neither will I.
Everyone's against me, even you. You care more for that cat than you do for me.
Of course, because I know my cat loves me. That's why I'm not afraid to live here alone. Saki will protect me.
You have money, Aunt Clara. Why must you live like this, alone in this big old house?
You didn't come here because you're concerned about me. You're not getting another cent, you parasite.
My mom said the same thing to me last week. That's me talking, not the character.
Mhm.
And now I'm back in character. You mean so much to me, Aunt Clara.
I know exactly what I mean to you. Someone who gives you money. But you'll not get another cent from me until you inherit it. That's final. Now get out!
She shouldn't have said that. She's basically saying, I'm not going to give you money unless you kill me.
What are you going to do about it?
Narrator.
Hours later.
And then I'm thinking to myself, this is a thought bubble. If Aunt Clara were dead, I'd have money. She's old and weak. What if... Wait, by the way, before you go on, took him an hour to think of this. She says to him, you're not going to get my money...
Not an hour, hours.
She says, you're not going to get a cent from me until I'm dead. And he's like, wait a minute. 2 hours later. Hold on, I'm almost on to something here. 3 hours later. If she dies, an hour later, I get money. Oh, you got to set the scene, though. Hours later, where are we at?
Hours later. It looks like he's at a bar, grabbing a drink. Bartender's right next to him. Is he smoking a cigarette?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's just thinking. He's got his hand on his chin, just pondering.
Right. If Aunt May dies, I get money. She's old. What if... Who wants to be the bartender?
I'll take that one. Bartender says, hey, Mac, we're closing up. How about it?
Now, this offends me. So I say to him, you'll regret talking to me this way. I expect my inheritance. And what do I do here, Vince?
Did you point to his chin or grab his neck?
I grab his neck.
Ah, okay.
He pissed me off.
Well, his collar.
Yeah, you grabbed his collar and pulled him close.
I expect my inheritance. When I get it, I'll buy this place and have you fired.
Come on, pal, beat it.
And now I'm out of there. I'm walking, right?
Yeah.
What if she were to die
guy's
tonight?
unstable.
What if she were to die tonight? With her out of the way, I'd be rich. Rich! Now, funny thing here is we established earlier that I'm capable of thinking. There were thought bubbles, but this is out loud. I'm saying this.
I like the light. Kind of gives like a bright idea.
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
See that?
I'm walking in front of a street lamp, and it's on right next to my head, so it kind of symbolizes having an idea.
I did want to make a connection between this and the Spider-Man video game, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I noticed in the Spider-Man game, every time somebody should be thinking something in their head, you can see their lips moving. It's really weird. So when you're like Mary Jane sneaking through a facility around a bunch of bad guys, she's like, if I could push that button, I could distract the guards with that sound. But if you like rotate the camera to her face, you can see her saying it out loud when there are guards right next to her.
It's like the TV show Dexter. The whole show, he's a serial killer. He's getting away with it. There's tons of narration in the show. He's sitting in his lab. He's like, tonight's the night. I'm going to go kill someone again. What was that, Dexter? You just say you're going to kill someone? I think they heard me. You know you're talking out loud, right? Narrator.
Derek Lane's evil plan drove him back to the old mansion.
And now again, I'm thinking out loud here. Aunt Clara forgot that I have a key. I announce as I walk into her house.
In the bedroom of his helpless victim.
What's going on here?
And it looks like he's got her stuffed under a pillow, as Adam is describing.
Another few seconds and it's done.
It looks like she's dead.
And now I say, just to nobody, the long sleep, Aunt Clara. Rest well. Now, to complete my plan. And you have to say it in the evil villain voice like that. I forgot you, Saki.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a cat in the
That's the
scene
cat.
now. He just let a cat into the apartment, into the house.
And what's the cat do?
Smack?
No, the cat attacks me, and then I smack the cat with
that's what's
looks
going
like a poker from like a
Yeah.
fireplace.
Yeah.
And I say, there, you demon.
Now it's on fire? Soon the room was in an inferno.
He looks inflated
Oh, he knocks the,
in this
maybe
picture.
it's because he knocked the lamp over.
So the room's on fire.
He knocked the lamp over, or
And I'm running away, and for some reason it looks like I've grown 3 times in size. I'm like this big fat guy all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And then narrator, you have to do your sworn duty.
minutes later.
So I'm outside now. I'm looking back at the mansion. It's all on fire.
Is that still you? You have like a yellow suit now.
Yeah, I've now shrunk back to my normal size,
Why,
and I'm now glowing.
why does it say minutes later? You seem standing outside the house, staring at the house on fire. It's pretty
Wait, so-
obvious he just
So
left.
first he's running away from the house, and then he just stands next to the tree right by the house
Well, so
in a
the-
different colored suit.
Exactly. So, the editors were looking at this, and they say, hold on a minute. You're telling me he teleported out of the house? You got to write minutes later, or else how are people going to know?
Oh, so he's still in the house in the scene before that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the drapery. Okay, gotcha.
Right, so
It felt like he was outside for some reason.
it's
I kind of get it now. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm just
Cut the artists some slack. They're giving these things away for it was like a nickel a comic back then.
I'm just saying, could try a little harder.
Well, I look back at this mansion on fire, and I say, it's going up like a tinderbox. There won't be a trace of evidence once the fire is out of control. I'll clear out before the alarm is turned in. I mustn't be seen here.
Man, it must have been so easy to commit crime back then.
Yeah, no cameras.
Yeah.
What does it mean for an alarm to be turned in? I guess it's for it to be reported.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. But one victim escapes Derek's murderous plot.
Who escaped?
That was me.
It looks like, what did the cat have a name?
Saki.
Saki. Saki escaped. Made it out alive.
That's a nice name.
That damn cat.
He's a black cat. All black, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A week after the tragedy, Derek is summoned to the offices of his aunt's attorney.
You want to be the attorney?
Oh, you guys have been getting all the parts here.
All right, fine.
Oh, I was a cat.
Yeah.
That's all I got so far.
All right, you could be the
I'll
lawyer.
be the
You
lawyer.
could be the lawyer. Attorney, sorry.
Attorney. Yeah. Mr. Lane, the terms of your late aunt's will.
And now I've decided to start thinking in my head instead of out loud. Poor Aunt Clara. I wonder how much she left me.
We'll leave you a legacy of $400. The rest goes to charity.
$400? Wait, no, I can't believe it. Excuse me, Mr. Barber. Is that what it says, Barber?
Yeah.
I don't feel well. I killed it for $400.
And charity.
And charity. That's true.
It's for a good cause.
All right, next. We're on the next page. Somehow Derek gets back to his dingy, furnished room.
She cheated me. She robbed me. $400. A pittance. I'm drinking some alcohol, it looks like. She deserved to be killed. The stingy old... Oh, Saki, but you're dead. And then what do I do there?
So he sees
He
the
sees
cat.
the
He
cat
sees the
in the
cat in the
mirror.
mirror, and then he throws the bottle that he was drinking while he was thinking about it before.
Threw it at the cat.
Threw it at the cat, but it looks like he hit the glass. Is that a window or a
So
mirror?
I thought I saw the cat. I threw my glass at it, but I saw the cat's reflection. So I shattered my mirror. Cat's behind me in reality.
Gotcha.
No. Get away from me, you devil. I've got to get out of here.
Wherever Derek turns, the cat's blazing eyes hunt him. He knows Saki is stalking him, awaiting the moment of revenge.
The stalking terror.
Mm.
They're talking about the cat the whole time. Saki's following me around.
That's what it is.
I think maybe Aunt May is possessing that cat.
Soon. What does that say? Soon the $400 is gone. Squandered. Right?
Squandered in a vain
Squandered
effort.
in a vain effort to drown out Derek's gnawing guilt. Sorry, it's a little blurry up there.
And don't come back, you bum.
So it's like Derek, I'm getting thrown out of a bar or something.
Yeah, he's getting kicked out of a bar. People walk by and see him getting kicked out.
So I tell him, you don't understand. The cat will get me. I can't hide anywhere. How can I escape from a ghost? This is like that movie, It Follows.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Ha! Instead of pink elephants, he sees cat ghosts. That's one for the books.
This could have been where the movie came from. Cat follows.
It follows.
Cat follows.
Derek sinks lower and lower until...
Help me out, Mac. I need a cup of coffee. And I'm grabbing this random guy in the street.
Take off, bum.
Mister, I'm hungry.
Derek Lane? Great Scott, man. What happened to you?
So I'm a bum now. I'm homeless. And so I'm wandering around, and this guy recognizes me. Johnson, please. Lou, help me. Give me a job, anything. I'll sweep floors.
You don't have to sweep floors, Lane. I didn't want to fire you from my last picture, but you came on the set drunk.
Help me, Lou. I won't touch a drop. I'll work hard.
All right, Derek. There's a small part for you in a costume film I'm directing. Report to the studio tomorrow at 10. Pull yourself together.
Later,
I thought they were happening at the same time. I feel like a new man. I'll start all over. I'll forget the past. The cat. Saki. Cat's back.
on the doorstep as he's walking back into his house.
The tricks a man's mind can play. This isn't Saki. Saki's dead.
Now he starts petting the cat.
See, I've gotten over my fear. Everything's going to be all right.
The next morning,
Good to see you again, Mr. Lane. Mr. Johnson is on set 4.
So that's me walking to the film set. Security guards letting me in. Thanks, Tom.
Go over to the costume department, Derek. They'll take care of you.
Hey, mind telling me something about the part?
It's only a bit. We show you getting placed in the Iron Maiden. You scream, we cut, and then show the Iron Maiden with the door closed.
You know what an Iron Maiden is?
It's an
Yup.
old torture device.
It's a giant thing you go into, and there's spikes.
Yeah, it's like a metal. It's like a metal box shaped like a person.
Yeah.
The inside of it's full of spikes. You lay down in it. When they close it, those spikes, they all stab you and you die.
mm-hmm.
Go on, narrator.
That's how you die?
Yeah, the spikes stab you.
Is it painful?
You can see the picture.
Yeah, but like, was that like a form of torture?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would that hurt?
No, people do it for fun.
I didn't know if it was like instant. You know, they slam it. You probably wouldn't feel it that long.
Maybe they probably avoid any of the spikes going into your head.
Oh, that would suck.
Well,
They probably
no.
position the spikes just so that you can kind of suffer for a while.
Every spike is positioned to hit a nerve center.
That's terrifying. As Derek takes his place on the set,
Hey, there's no chance of that thing closing on me. Those spikes give me the creeps.
Don't worry, we have a man holding the door. Got him strapped in there, boys.
Camera.
Johnson, that cat. And then there's a random guy getting attacked by the cat.
yep. And then it looks like the guy lost control of the door.
And so they're like, the door, he'll be killed. And then I'm in there. So this thing, the whole thing's going wrong, right? They're supposed to keep it
Yeah,
open,
yeah.
but it's starting to shut on me. So I say, save me, help.
This damn cat.
This is a smart cat, though. He
Yeah.
sees the Iron Maiden. He goes,
yeah.
I'm going to kill him with the Iron Maiden.
He's going to get the revenge. As the heavy door swings shut. What does that say? Saki
Saki.
has avenged his mistress, and Derek Lane pays the penalty for murder.
The end.
Man,
And the cat licks his paw
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
cunningly.
why did they use a real Iron Maiden on this set?
And the cat is sitting on top of the Iron Maiden. The guy's dead body is in there, and the cat's just licking its paw.
What's that scene to the right there? It looks like he's.
Well, it's just everyone there's freaking out.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
The guy holding the Iron Maiden door, like his job to protect the guy, he's wearing like a green dress and like a burglar.
It kinda looks
thing
like
over his
Robin.
eyes.
Yeah, I was
Robin?
thinking that.
That guy who wrote The Seduction of the Innocent, this is what he was talking about.
There's a lot of thigh here.
A lot of fire.
Oh, so he was holding it with a rope. Gotcha.
Mm.
If I were interviewing people to hold open the Iron Maiden, one of my interview questions would be, let's say you saw a cat. Would you let go and let the guy die? And if they said yes, I'd say, well, I'm going to hire somebody else.
I mean, would you rather get scratched up or let the door go?
What?
I mean, you.
I mean, in the moment, like
We're talking
you're
about a
getting
man's
scratched
life.
at the eyes. Like, what are you gonna do? Look at him.
Well, this was kind of a bummer of an ending. So I know what you're all thinking.
It's kind of sad.
Exactly. I don't want to be sad. I want to feel good.
Yeah.
I came here to be scared a little bit, but the devil, he can be scary, but he can be fun. Remember that episode of Buffy with that demon who was
The
dancing and singing?
Yeah.
That's like me right now. Because if you flip the pages, there is a fun little section of this comic book. I'm just going to keep flipping here. Here we go. There's a page here called Graveyard Guffaws, which is some one-panel jokes.
One-liners.
Let's each maybe say one of them. I'll take the first one. There's two ghosts. One of them is yelling at the other one. And she yells at him, "Don't lie to me. I can see right through you." Because ghosts are translucent.
I'll take the next one. So there's an adult ghost reading a story to some
Baby ghosts.
children ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the adult ghost says, "Now shall we hear a real spine-tingling human story?"
Because normally you'd say it's a ghost story. But they're
Right.
ghosts. They read human stories.
Yeah. It's clever.
Let's go to the next section, Spirit Spasms. Why don't you take, Vince, why don't you take this one down here?
All right. So it looks like was that Santa's desk?
That really doesn't matter. I
Senator
don't think.
Apple.
No, that makes Senator Apple. So Senator's office. He sees a ghost in his office floating right in front of him. Did you advertise?
Whoa, hold on.
What?
The ghost is saying that. You got to read it in
Oh,
your
right,
ghost
right.
voice.
Sorry, I didn't know the ghost was saying this. All right, so the ghost is saying this to the senator. Did you advertise for a ghostwriter?
I said to read it in your ghost voice. You didn't change your voice at all.
Oh, sorry.
Did you advertise for a ghostwriter?
There you go.
Because ghostwriter means somebody that writes a book for you, but ghost also means a spirit, an apparition.
Got it.
Let's end strong. I'm going to read this last one. There's a ghost looking at another ghost, and this other ghost is wearing pajamas. And he says, I felt cold. Because I guess ghosts are cold.
Yo.
But the funny thing is,
I'm just reading
he's a
some-
ghost, so he's just got this like ghost tail thing, so it's just going through one of the pant legs.
You can read the other one
I'm
along.
not gonna read them, but I'm just gonna say you can, from some of these ones we're skipping over, you can tell this was written a few decades ago.
Yeah. There's I don't feel comfortable reading this one. But I will tell you, if you go to comicbookplus.com, they have a collection of public domain comic books. And if you go to the horror category and check out Amazing Ghost Stories issue 15, go to page 26, and there is a comic there that makes me a little uncomfortable.
Here's a question. What does it mean when you say someone's like the black sheep of the family? Is it just like you don't talk about them?
He said it. I think so, yeah.
Well, but I didn't say the joke.
The
'Cause
black sheep is
is a still, that's a term you still hear. It's not, doesn't have really certain connotations that you're worried about.
the black sheep. He's the one that messes everything up, right? You don't talk about them. Like in our family, Daniel's the black sheep.
Yeah.
Like we found him in a closet eating apple pie. We don't really talk about him. He's the black sheep of the family.
I thought that was you.
You know. Well, thank you for joining us on tonight's spooky episode of Gil Reads Comics. I think that I had a lot of fun tonight, and I'm going to send all you spirits, you ghosts and ghouls. It was fun. Get out of here. Right, stop haunting us. Be gone. But first, you should say Happy Halloween to all of our listeners.
Happy Halloween.
Should we just redo the whole thing?
Yeah.
So we get like different angles and stuff?
We should do this again sometime.
For sure. Yeah.
Was that?
We should do this again sometime, you said.
Oh, definitely. We should do it for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Dude, we're going to do a Christmas special. That's going to be fun.
Absolutely.
my
I
God.
can't wait
We
to
have that
like,
week
to
off.
see what the set looks like.
Yeah.
I hope.
I'm afraid.
Open the door.
Open the door.
No.
Daddy, can I go trick-or-treating?
He doesn't see them either.
Hey, Vincent, can you take me trick-or-treating? I want to go trick-or-treating for candy.
Hey, let's go.
You're my dad now. You're my dad, Vince.
Come with me to trick or treating.
Are we going trick-or-treating again this year, Dad?
Yeah, we can go trick or treating.
Which house are we going to? I want to go to that house with the mean cat lady. I want to kill her.
I will go down to that damn house down there.
What?
What's happening?
We're doing improv. I'm Vince's son. I love this room. I'm never leaving this room.
You can't leave.
I am the devil. I am the devil. I am the devil. I'm the devil. I'm the devil. I am the devil. I'm spooky. I'm scary.
What's going